My research over the decades really has been using this comprehensive systems analysis to try to understand what are the most important triggers, in a way, what is the most important adjustment screw in the big machinery of the world that will make life better for current and future generations. And again and again, education came up here, mostly education of girls, as a key trigger of so many good developments. And demography is quantitative study of changing societies. It's not only how many people there are alive and how many births are born, how many people die, and migration. These are sort of the three main factors. But what we developed with my colleagues here is also what we call multidimensional demography. It is looking beyond just the age pyramids and the age structure, but also looking at the changing educational composition. I started out as hating education. I mean, I had a traumatic experience in elementary school, just disciplined, everything marked in red what I was writing. I had a lot of spelling mistakes. So when I got a little more autonomous at the age of 15, I became the editor of the student newspaper. I still have a copy of the first article I wrote, and it was called Primary Education, a Crime on Children. So I sometimes say this because I said I was not starting out being a friend of education. It was really through this scientific statistical analysis that over and over I found that cognitive enhancement and all the other positive aspects that follow, also in terms of social and emotional stability, that follow from good education are really the key to meeting so many challenges of our world and moving societies in the direction of sustainable development. It was statistical modeling that convinced me of the importance of education. The composition of human populations changes very slowly and in a predictable way. And since policy making, really we are designing the policies today to then be implemented in a few years and will have impact on society and the economy even more years later, we need to do some forecasting, some projections, how the world will look when these new policies would be in place, and how these new policies can change the path, can change the scenario of the future. And this is what we're trying to do in quantitative terms. In the corporate business world, it is sometimes an advantage that you keep your data secret, that you don't share them with the competitors because it may give them an advantage. This is quite different in science, where the international scientific community really wants to enhance knowledge as a global public good. You want to share your data with everyone, and you want everybody to, if they use the same data and the same statistical methods, to also reach the same results. And that is what makes science credible. And that, I think, is this unique strength, how science can help and contribute to make the world a better place. I have proposed two projects that both follow up on the research that we've been doing over the past decades. The one is focusing on Africa, because the human capital and education challenges are by far the biggest in the Africa region, not only in terms of formal education, but also in terms of the quality of the education. It will have long-lasting consequences for the sustainable development outlook of the African continent. So I proposed to establish, together with the University of Cape Town, a Center for African Human Capital, applying these methods in a much more detailed way to a set of African countries and communicating this to African policymakers and development experts in the region to highlight and give more information about this crucial role of education in development. The second is linked to some experiences in the Asian region, in low-lying Asian coastal zones that are particularly affected by climate change or by sea level rise. And here, 20 years after the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, the idea is to have a memorial research station that shows how, again, education and investments in human capital are a very powerful way of strengthening adaptive capacity and resilience to these negative consequences of climate change.